Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's gonna lose money on this movie, and I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Rachel Zegler has reportedly left the spotlight, not just in a symbolic sense, as sources now claim she boarded an international flight and landed in Dubai, raising serious questions about what she's running from and what she's trying to protect. This comes just days after Disney allegedly demanded financial restitution for the disastrous Snow White flop.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, "Every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one." Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, cry me a river. She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Industry insiders are giddy, fans are in awe, and Disney, they are reportedly incensed about this abrupt disappearance, which follows a wave of viral outrage and behind-the-scenes legal drama. According to insiders, Disney executives were already considering their options, which included using morality clauses and withholding bonuses, when Zegler quietly left Hollywood. There was no press, no sightings, just a vanishing act, and now people are wondering if this is more than just a PR retreat or if this is a strategic avoidance. The fact that Zegler's departure coincided with rumors that Disney called an urgent conference to assess her possible involvement in the Snow White tragedy is what's stoking the conjecture.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done. And
they're projected to lose between $200 and $400 million on this.
The thing that really shocks me about this story, Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these projects, right? Have they ever thought about maybe a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
Fans are wondering if Zegler is avoiding the public or something more serious like attorneys because of her quiet and abrupt international trip. Some people think the studio is getting ready to file a lawsuit, while others say private talks are already in progress.
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across. Hold on. Here. Yep, hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
And while her staff maintains that she's just taking some time to regroup, this is where things become even more suspect. Detectives on social media have been assembling hints that point to more serious deleted comments. After the highly anticipated Snow White remake's disastrous performance, which some sources estimate could result in a staggering $250 million loss, Disney is reportedly in full-blown damage control mode, and the situation is spiraling faster than anyone anticipated. Private Jet tracking a scrubbed itinerary with no confirmation on when or if she plans to return is raising questions by the hour. Has Rachel Zegler really gone off the grid, or is she planning a quiet escape from the biggest brand in Hollywood? It is reported that high-level executives are rushing behind the scenes. Disney may be forcing its top actress Rachel Zegler to pay for the damage, according to one of the most incendiary claims.
This woman shown here is not the actual woman playing Snow White, but the woman playing Snow White is named Rachel Zegler, and she and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, were caught on the red carpet. This is actually from September of 2022, but it's resurfaced now because the movie's coming out, talking about what we should expect from Snow White.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Oh my God.
Nobody
Who
wants
wants
that.
a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
According to several insider reports, the studio allegedly convened a special closed-door conference during the film's premiere weekend to discuss if Zegler's contentious actions before the release amounted to a breach of her contract. Her press trip was full of noteworthy incidents, ranging from political remarks that offended a sizable section of the fan base to disparaging remarks about the original 1937 movie. These weren't merely PR blunders. According to insiders, they might have broken certain PR-related terms in her contract. If the rumors are accurate, Disney might be looking into measures including reclaiming bonuses, terminating back-end agreements, or even seeking partial compensation. According to one unnamed individual who was at the purported meeting, an executive said that she destroyed a billion-dollar business with her own words. Although it's a scathing evaluation, insiders said that the boardroom quietly nodded in agreement.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows?
Perhaps most startling is that Zegler's public apologies, which seemed to retract some of her earlier remarks, may not have come from her directly. According to people purportedly involved in the matter, Disney's internal PR division took charge of damage control, painstakingly crafting the apology and instructing her to post it on her social media accounts. The timing, tone, and wording all sounded a little too formal, which raised questions about whether it was more for show than sincere regret.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, "Yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her." And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, "Good job, Rachel." And then she, like, minutes later, followed it up with, "And never forget, free Palestine."
In fact, some fans felt that the apology lacked the emotional depth or genuineness that people usually anticipate from a personal statement. There were no overt indications of vulnerability, no candid admission of particular errors, and no genuine empathy for the pain or disappointment experienced by devoted Disney fans. IT didn't sit well with viewers who already felt alienated because it read more like a press release than a heartfelt apology. Social media networks were inundated with speculative threads that broke down the apology's linguistic structure, compared it to crisis PR templates, and pointed out similar wording used in previous major studio-handled incidents. Several readers stated that the post just confirmed their suspicion that Zegler was being micromanaged by corporate handlers rather than taking ownership of her story, regardless of whether the rumors are true or not. Hashtags started trending not in support, but in criticism. IT became evident that the harm could not be repaired, and the apology appeared to widen Zegler's rift rather than lessen the indignation. The decision might have strengthened the impression that she is more of a manufactured face of the franchise than a real voice that fans could identify with, and it might have backfired for Disney, confirming the notion that the studio was more concerned with spin than accountability. Behind-the-scenes industry rumors indicate that Zegler is devastated by the circumstances. There are rumors that her team has been working nonstop to repair the damage, but morale in her camp is reportedly at an all-time low. Only months ago, she was poised to become one of Disney's rising stars with talk of spin-offs, franchise tie-ins, and a full-fledged marketing machine behind her. Some insiders claim she has been brought to tears several times, finding it difficult to comprehend how quickly things unraveled and how quickly the narrative turned against her. Disney's live-action strategy was supposed to begin a new era with Slaw as its focal point. The tone has drastically changed, with some insiders describing the current moment as a reputation freefall, with Zegler struggling to maintain professional relationships and preserve what remains of her public image. Industry analysts have rated her as one of the most promising young actresses of the decade, with potential crossover appeal and international stardom in sight. Rumor has it that even her staff is split, with some working to craft a compelling comeback story and others discreetly investigating long-term damage control tactics that may involve going years without saying a word in a few short weeks. According to reports, Zegler's Hollywood dream has become a case study in PR mismanagement. Behind the scenes, she might be struggling with the emotional toll and job uncertainty, and Disney is still dealing with criticism and possible financial consequences. Her part in this intense drama is not yet finished. With a huge budget, the Snow White remake was expected to be a cinch. Nostalgic source material combined with a new perspective, Disney executives were certain that the legacy of the original animated classic combined with contemporary storytelling elements would make the film a box office juggernaut. Initial projections were optimistic, with some analysts anticipating a record-breaking opening weekend. However, critics say the final product veered too far from what made the original beloved. Instead of honoring the tone, charm, and emotional core of the 1937 film, the new version reportedly tried too hard to reinvent everything, alienating longtime fans in the process. Audience members were turned off by the changes to the character arcs, the missing iconic moments, and what some called a lack of magic. Many people interpreted Zegler's press appearances as deliberately antagonistic against the beloved story, and it wasn't just what she said, it was also how she said it. Zegler's claims that the original Snow White was strange and the princess was a stalker stoked the flames on social media, portraying her as someone who denigrated Disney's legacy. What could have been presented as thoughtful modernization came across as tone-deaf and arrogant. Hashtags like #BoycottSnowWhite started trending, and every new interview seemed to make things worse. Fans weren't just upset, they felt insulted. Fan edits and commentary videos flooded YouTube and TikTok, breaking down every moment of Zegler's interviews. Viewers accused her of being disrespectful and out of touch, and both new and legacy fans expressed frustration, saying the film felt like it was made by people who didn't even understand, or like the source material. The backlash reached a boiling point, and the PR disaster grew worse with each news cycle. Political posts from Zegler's past that surfaced, including one that attacked Trump supporters and wished them well, sparked a heated debate and further polarized potential audiences for Disney's films, which heavily rely on broad four-quadrant appeal. This was a marketing nightmare. Despite multiple attempts to control the situation, such as reducing press opportunities, limiting red carpet exposure, and even cutting interviews, the damage had already been done. The Snow White remake's opening weekend numbers were significantly below the studio's projections, leaving executives stunned and frantically trying to come up with answers. Suddenly, the film was more than just a movie. It was a cultural spectacle, and Rachel Zegler was at the center of the storm. In the end, industry analysts were already calling it one of Disney's most significant live-action misfires of the past 10 years. The numbers weren't just disappointing. They were historically low for a film of this size budget and brand recognition compared to other Disney remakes. Initial hopes that international markets would help soften the blow quickly evaporated as global box office returns remained tepid at best. What had been expected to be a worldwide sensation barely managed to spark any major excitement abroad. Because Snow White's performance didn't leverage star power or nostalgia, it came in last in the pack. The film was described as a financial cautionary tale in trade journals' headlines, indicating that the repercussions was still very much alive and that the finger-pointing had now started in earnest. Others are focusing on the script and creative direction, claiming that it deviated too much from the core of the beloved fairy tale, alienating devoted Disney fans. Some insiders are blaming the marketing team, claiming that the promotional materials were inconsistent, unclear, and failed to capture the magic of the original. There's even quiet frustration directed at the executive level for greenlighting such an aggressive reinvention of a legacy property without adequate testing, but as the dust settles, more and more of the backlash appears to be landing squarely on Rachel Zegler's shoulders, whether that's entirely justified or not. Her high-profile presence during the film's rollout and the controversy surrounding her comments has made her the most visible target, and Disney, according to industry whispers, seems increasingly eager to create distance between the brand and its embattled lead actress. Some believe this distancing is a strategic move to protect future releases, while others see it as a quiet admission that things have gone too far to repair in Hollywood. Perception is everything. Rumors suggest that several future projects that had previously eyed Zegler as a potential lead are now reevaluating. Producers are reportedly nervous about the backlash she brings and whether audiences can move past the Snow White controversy. For her part, Zegler has gone completely quiet. No new interviews have surfaced, no public appearances have been made, and not a single statement has been issued since the initial fallout. The flurry has only increased due to her abrupt and inexplicable withdrawal from public life, which has been exacerbated by circulating reports of a worldwide escape. The mystery is increased by analysts' speculation about whether her quiet is a calculated PR ploy or a sincere emotional escape from a stressful circumstance. According to reports, she has entirely disappeared. There have been no social media updates, no behind-the-scenes sightings, and no leaks from her often outspoken inner circle. While fans are sharply divided, some speculate that she may be under strict orders from her legal team to refrain from any more public appearances, particularly if legal proceedings are in fact being considered behind the scenes. Others speculate that she may be seeking solace with close friends or family in a discreet effort to refocus. A portion of her audience believes the backlash has gone too far and that Zegler is being unfairly scapegoated for a project that had problems long before she stepped in front of the camera. They argue that corporate miscalculations, not her interviews, should shoulder the blame. On the other side, critics claim that her repeated public comments were reckless and set the stage for much of the negative press, insisting that accountability is a fair consequence for someone in her position. In the end, her silence speaks volumes. Whether it's a calculated pause or a sign of deeper turmoil, her absence from the spotlight is impossible to ignore. The longer she stays away, the more room there is for speculation to flourish. And with each passing day, public curiosity only grows. Whatever her next move is, it will likely define not just the trajectory of her career, but how this entire controversy is remembered. The real question now is, what happens next? Will Zegler return to Hollywood with a redemption arc? Will Disney cut ties completely, or will this end in legal drama, the likes of which the entertainment industry hasn't seen in years? One thing is clear: the story is far from over. What do you think? Is Rachel hiding something? Or is she just trying to survive a PR nightmare? Let us know in the comments. And if you want the latest updates on Hollywood's biggest scandals and celebrity drama, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. This one's only getting started.